Lately, life has carried an unusual feeling around you, almost as if the universe has been quietly preparing something important behind closed doors. Even during ordinary moments, there has been a strange pull in your heart, a feeling that someone, somewhere, has been unable to stop thinking about you no matter how hard they tried. What once felt uncertain is beginning to settle into clarity, and the emotions connected to you are becoming impossible for this person to ignore any longer. For a long time, they attempted to silence what they felt. They buried their thoughts beneath distractions, convinced themselves the connection was temporary, and tried to act unaffected whenever your presence crossed their mind. But emotions that are real have a way of returning stronger each time they are pushed away, and now those feelings have become impossible to hide. Your memory lingers with them in the quietest parts of the day, showing up unexpectedly and leaving them smiling without even realizing it. Sometimes they catch themselves replaying old conversations, wondering how someone could leave such a lasting impact on their heart without trying. The most revealing part is that the people around them have started noticing the difference. There is a softness in their expression whenever your name comes up, a pause in their voice when they try to speak about you casually, and a glow they cannot completely disguise anymore. What is unfolding now is not sudden at all. It has been growing silently over time, piece by piece, emotion by emotion, until finally their heart could no longer pretend otherwise. And while you may not yet see the full picture, something meaningful is moving closer, carrying emotions that have waited far too long to be spoken aloud. But this is only the beginning, because the smile they carry is not random happiness, it is anticipation. It is the kind of smile someone wears when they know something beautiful may finally be about to happen. Stay till the end, because something important is waiting for you in this message. The energy surrounding your connection has entered a new season, one where uncertainty is slowly being replaced by clarity, and hesitation is being overtaken by truth. Your soulmate is no longer simply wondering what could be between you. They are beginning to imagine what life would look like if they stopped resisting it altogether. And once a person starts imagining a future with you in it, everything changes. Their decisions change. Their priorities change. Even their fears begin to lose power. What once felt impossible begins to feel necessary. What once felt distant begins to feel urgent, and that is where they are now, caught between the safety of silence and the undeniable urge to move closer to you. They know something must happen soon. They feel it, in the way conversations have started shifting around them, in the way coincidences keep drawing your name back into their world, in the way every distraction still somehow leads their thoughts back to you. This is not by accident. There are moments in life when the heart recognizes what the mind is still trying to understand, and your person has entered that moment. They may not have every answer yet. They may still be sorting through their emotions, still gathering courage, still wondering how to approach what they feel without risking too much. But make no mistake, they are no longer where they used to be. The distance between denial and confession is shrinking. The silence between longing and action is growing thinner, and the news heading toward you, the reason this title found you today, is connected to a decision forming quietly inside them right now, a decision they have delayed, a truth they have postponed, a step they know they can no longer avoid. Because some smiles are not caused by fleeting emotion, they come from finally realizing that the person you have been searching for may have been in front of you all along, and your soulmate is beginning to realize exactly that. Yet before anything reaches you, before words are spoken or doors open, one final inner battle remains within them, a battle between fear and faith, between protecting their heart and finally revealing it. And what happens in that battle will determine how the next chapter begins, because sooner than expected, they are going to hear, see, or realize something that removes their last excuse for waiting. And when that moment arrives, everything may accelerate faster than either of you imagined. What they are about to realize will shake the final wall they built around their heart, because the distance they once believed could protect them is no longer working. Every attempt they made to stay detached has only made your presence louder in their mind, clearer in their spirit, harder to escape. They thought time would reduce what they feel for you, yet somehow time has done the opposite. It has deepened it, sharpened it, turned what once felt like curiosity into something they can no longer explain away, and lately, that truth has begun following them everywhere. In ordinary moments, your memory appears without warning. In conversations with others, they compare every energy to yours, and silently notice that no one affects them the same. In their happiest moments, they imagine how much brighter those moments would feel if you were beside them. That is why the smile on their face has become impossible to hide, because part of them already senses what is coming next. They feel movement. They feel momentum. They feel that life is preparing to place the two of you closer than before. And what they do not yet know is that you can feel it too, even if only as a quiet pull you have not been able to name. Something important is waiting for you, and it begins with this. Your soulmate is no longer afraid of the feeling itself. They are afraid of how real it has become. There is a difference. Before, they feared whether what they felt was genuine. Now they fear how deeply genuine it is. Before, they questioned whether you mattered. Now they question what happens if they lose the chance to tell you. That realization changes people. It softens pride. It humbles ego. It makes a person understand that some opportunities are too rare to gamble with. There comes a moment in life when a connection stops feeling ordinary and starts becoming impossible to ignore. That is exactly where your person finds themselves now. Little by little, without even realizing it at first, they have grown deeply attached to your presence. The smallest memories involving you continue to echo in their mind, long after the moment has passed. A simple smile from you, a brief conversation, even the way you once looked at them during an ordinary day. Those details stayed with them far more than they ever expected. While you may have moved through those moments casually, they quietly held on to them because to someone who feels emotionally drawn to another soul, nothing meaningful ever feels small. Your kindness reached places inside them that few people ever touch, and now they are beginning to understand how rare that feeling truly is. What makes this even more powerful is that they can no longer hide from their emotions the way they once did. The silence between you has started feeling heavier than the fear of opening their heart, and when emotions reach that stage, change becomes unavoidable. At first, it may appear through subtle actions, a message arriving at an unusual time, longer conversations, nervous energy, hidden affection tucked inside casual words, or unexpected attempts to stay close to you. Life-changing connections rarely arrive with loud announcements. Most of the time, they begin quietly, almost invisibly, until one single moment suddenly changes everything forever. Right now, your person is standing on the edge of that moment. In private, they are gathering courage, replaying possibilities, and imagining what could happen if they finally reveal the emotions they have kept buried for so long. Because deep inside, they are starting to realize this connection is not temporary. To them, it feels real, lasting, and impossible to replace. It is the kind of feeling that lingers, the kind that returns no matter how far they try to run, the kind that quietly transforms into certainty. And certainty creates boldness, it creates movement, it creates decisions that once seemed impossible. Very soon, something external, an event, a conversation, a realization, will confirm what their heart has already been whispering. It will become the final sign they needed, the final push they could not ignore. And when that happens, the smile they wear in private will no longer remain private, because the truth they have been holding back will begin finding its way toward you in a form you never expected. The truth moving toward you will not arrive in the dramatic way most people imagine. It will arrive in a moment so ordinary on the surface that many would miss its significance completely. Yet for you, for them, for this connection, It will quietly alter everything, because life rarely announces its most meaningful turning points with noise. More often, it places destiny inside simple moments, an unexpected message, a sudden invitation, a conversation that lasts longer than planned, a glance held 1 second too long, and only afterward do you realize that was the instant the entire story changed. Your soulmate can feel that kind of moment approaching now, and that is why their spirit has become restless. They wake up thinking of you before the world fully settles into morning. They pause in the middle of busy days because your face enters their mind without warning. They lie awake some nights replaying every interaction, wondering whether you notice the things they could not hide, the nervousness in their voice, the softness in their eyes, the way their energy shifted whenever you came near. What they once believed they could control has grown beyond control, and that realization has brought them to a place they never expected to stand, a place where they no longer want to suppress what they feel, only understand how to express it without ruining something precious. There is a quiet transformation happening within them, one that few around them fully understand. They are becoming more honest with themselves, more willing to admit that this is not infatuation, not passing attraction, not a temporary emotional wave that will fade if ignored long enough. No, what they feel has roots now, it has depth, it has permanence, and the deeper that understanding settles into them, the more impossible it becomes to pretend you are simply another person in their life. You are not. Some were in the silence of their private thoughts. They have already admitted that to themselves. They may not have said it aloud, they may not even know how to put it into words yet, but in the deepest part of their heart, they know your presence means something rare, something different, something that cannot be replaced, and that knowing has changed the way they move through the world. They listen differently now when others speak about love. They no longer laugh off conversations about timing and destiny and rare connection the way they once did, because now those ideas no longer feel abstract to them. They feel personal, they feel real, they feel tied to you. They have started noticing how little interest they have in distractions that once seemed important, because when the heart recognizes something genuine, lesser things begin to lose their shine. What once entertained them now feels empty. What once seemed exciting now feels temporary. Because once a person glimpses the possibility of something meaningful, surface-level connections no longer satisfy them in the same way, and this is why they cannot stop smiling. Not because everything is resolved, not because they already have you, not because the story is finished. They smile because for the first time, they believe the future may hold what their heart has secretly hoped for. There was a time when they thought the timing was wrong, a time when they believed circumstances, fear, distance, confusion, or past pain would keep this from ever becoming real. But lately, that belief has begun to crack. The barriers that once looked permanent now seem temporary. The obstacles that once felt impossible now appear smaller than the feeling itself. There comes a moment in life when emotions stop hiding in the background and begin asking to be heard. Your soulmate is slowly reaching that moment now. The uncertainty that once kept them silent is fading, replaced by a growing desire to step closer to you in a real and meaningful way. What once lived only in quiet thoughts has started turning into genuine intention. They are no longer simply wondering about you from a distance. In their heart, they are beginning to picture conversations, shared moments, and the possibility of letting you see feelings they have kept guarded for far too long. Every day, the connection feels harder for them to ignore. Even the smallest memories of you linger in their mind longer than they expect, creating a pull that feels both comforting and impossible to escape. If you have recently felt an unexplainable shift in your emotions, almost like your spirit is preparing for something important, trust that feeling. Sometimes the heart senses approaching change before reality fully reveals it. Deep down, your soul already recognizes the energy moving toward you. Your soulmate notices details about you that many people fail to see. They admire the quiet strength you carry through difficult moments, the warmth you offer others without expecting anything in return, and the emotional depth hidden beneath your calm exterior. What affects them most is not only attraction or curiosity, but the rare sense of peace they feel when imagining a future where they are fully understood by you. That kind of emotional comfort is uncommon, and once someone experiences it, their heart rarely wants to walk away from it. And your soulmate has begun to understand that what they feel with you goes beyond attraction. You calm something in them. You awaken something in them. You make them imagine a life softer, deeper, fuller than the one they were prepared to settle for. This is why they have stopped being able to treat the connection casually. This matters to them now, more than they planned, more than they expected, more than they know how to admit. And still, despite all of this, one final hesitation remains. It is not lack of love. It is not lack of desire. It is not uncertainty about you. It is fear of vulnerability. Because opening your heart after protecting it for so long can feel like standing unguarded in the open after years of building walls. Even when someone longs to move closer, part of them trembles at what honesty requires. To reveal genuine feeling is to risk rejection. To admit someone matters deeply is to surrender control. To love is to become brave in ways comfort never demands. Your soulmate knows this. They feel the weight of it every day. Yet what is changing now is simple. Their fear is no longer stronger than their hope. And when hope becomes greater than fear, everything begins moving. The shocking news coming to you is tied to that shift. Because soon, your soulmate will stop asking themselves whether they should take the risk, and start asking how much longer they can afford not to. That is when the energy changes completely. That is when hesitation turns into urgency. That is when waiting begins to feel unbearable. That is when people do the things they once swore they would never do. They reach out. They show up. They speak. They confess. They take chances. And when that moment arrives for them, it will not be random. It will be the result of every quiet realization, every sleepless thought, every hidden smile, every private admission that has led them here. There is something else you must understand. Part of why this is happening now is because your absence, or even the thought of losing access to you, has awakened something powerful in them. Whether through distance, silence, changed circumstances, or simply the realization that life does not wait forever, they have begun to understand that opportunities like this do not remain available indefinitely. They know they cannot assume you will always be there while they sort through their feelings. They know someone else could recognize your worth. They know timing matters, and that awareness has lit a fire inside them. Because nothing sharpens love like the possibility of regret. Nothing clarifies feeling like imagining life without the person who inspired it. Nothing motivates action like realizing hesitation could cost you something irreplaceable. Your soulmate has imagined that loss. They have pictured you moving on. They have pictured someone else stepping into the place they were too afraid to claim. They have pictured themselves watching from a distance, knowing they stayed silent too long. And that vision unsettled them. More than they expected. It forced honesty. It forced urgency. It forced them to admit, if I do nothing, I may lose the one person I cannot stop thinking about. That realization changes people. It transforms dreamers into doers. It transforms silent admirers into risk-takers. It transforms hidden feelings into spoken truth. And so now, even if slowly, even if imperfectly, even if with trembling hands and nervous thoughts, they are moving, you may soon notice their energy becoming bolder. They may begin testing your reactions more openly. They may linger in conversation longer than usual. They may seek reasons to be near you. They may ask questions that reveal emotional curiosity instead of casual interest. They may begin opening parts of themselves they usually keep guarded. These are not random changes. They are signs of someone preparing the ground before planting the truth. Because confessions rarely begin with sudden dramatic declarations. They begin with vulnerability in smaller forms, with increased honesty, with emotional risk, with moments that seem subtle until you realize what they meant. Watch closely. There are moments in life when someone's emotions stay hidden so deeply that even the people closest to them fail to notice the storm quietly building beneath the surface. The person who once seemed distant, guarded, or impossible to read may soon begin revealing feelings they have carried for far longer than anyone realized. And when that moment arrives, it will not feel small or ordinary. It will carry the weight of every unspoken thought, every silent glance, and every emotion they buried while trying to protect themselves. What has been growing inside them was never temporary. It strengthened in silence, evolved in solitude, and became impossible to ignore. That is why when the truth finally surfaces, it may arrive with far greater intensity than expected. If your spirit has been exhausted from waiting, if doubt has crept into your mind during the quiet moments, this is the reminder your heart may have needed for a long time. Some connections are not rushed because they are meant to unfold carefully. Delays do not always mean rejection, and silence does not always mean emptiness. Sometimes, feelings become so powerful that a person needs time to understand them before they can finally express them aloud. The energy surrounding this bond is shifting now. Their smile carries meaning. Their restless emotions are no accident. Something inside them already senses that change is approaching quickly, and the truth moving toward you may not come as a simple confession. It may arrive as a life-changing realization that while you were questioning whether they truly cared, they were already falling much deeper than you ever allowed yourself to believe.